This particular firearm, it's an AK-47. A lot of people say this is the gold-plated AK-47. It's actually like a chrome gold plating. It did come out of one of Saddam Hussein's palaces. It was brought back to the United States illegally, and so it ended up in our collection.
Hi, this is Danielle calling with the ATF National Tracing Center. I need your assistance with a firearm trace.
You know, the question is, so why do you trace a gun? You know, what's it going to do for you? You find a gun at a crime scene, and the first question is, well, whose gun is it? ATF's the only agency authorized to trace guns in the United States, and we do it right here in West Virginia. Not everybody is necessarily aware that there's not a national registration system for guns. Ultimately, if the gun's recovered in a crime, we will go to an importer or the manufacturer, and they'll say we sold it to a wholesaler, and that wholesaler will say we sold it to a retail dealer. We'll call that retail dealer up, and that guy's going to go look in his file for that yellow piece of paper that you filled out and pull it up and read the name off of it to us. And that's how it works.
Those are all in order. All of them are now, because he fixed 15, I fixed 14. Okay, they're just not. Right.
Somewhere along that chain of distribution, somebody might have gone out of business. And when they go out of business, they have to ship their records here. We receive somewhere around 2 million records per month. When we get to 10,000 boxes in process, GSA, who owns the building, thinks that the floor will collapse. So they get stored in shipping containers that we rent outside in the parking lot.
They come through the loading dock area where they have to be x-rayed. All of the boxes are open underneath a ventilated hood to make sure there's no contaminants. And then at that point, they'll be put in the inventory and then given a location and stored.
So all those documents come in, and they've got to be sorted, and then they get scanned.
We're currently at the National Firearms Reference Collection, the ATF. This is our vault area, and we'll go in here and take a look around. As you can see, it's like a big bank vault. Then we have different layers of security to get into it. This reference collection houses approximately 17,000 firearms. This is an old single-action revolver. Most people would say it's a firearm because it can fire a round of ammunition, but according to the law, anything made in or before 1898 is not a firearm. One of the very few firearms in the United States that is not a firearm that can fire. These are 50 caliber type sniper rifles, and they're also used for hunting, believe it or not, out west. And there's maybe someone that's handicapped and they can't walk as far. They'll set them up in an area, and these things can shoot a half a mile or more.
When you start to go to microfilm, now you're talking 40 minutes a shot. There's about 140 people right now that just look at microfilm. About half of them are on day shift and the other half are on night shift. That's all they do.
It does take a little bit of getting used to. I know that when I first started, I kind of felt a little seasick because once you get going, the material does go really quick, so you do get a little bit disoriented.
A roll of microfilm here at the Tracing Center usually has 10,000 documents. And one dealer who was in business 15 years, he might have 6 rolls of microfilm. You can divide it by 6 and let one person look at each roll. But at the end of the day, because you only have one roll, It's one guy. One guy has to look at 10,000 pieces of paper to find the gun.
Here's some of the other guns that we've run across in the years. This is a cigarette pack, and as you can see, it actually fires rounds of ammunition. This looks like a normal briefcase that someone's carrying around, and you can see there's a hole there, and there's a button here to fire it. And here's a cane gun, same situation. You just load it, and you're walking along, and then if a wild animal or something comes to you, you know, you have some type of weapon.
In the last several years, a lot of dealers, particularly bigger corporate operations, maintain their records in computer files. Well, that's great, right? You just take those electronic records and you can load them into your system. Well, it doesn't work like that, because let's just imagine a dealer who kept all his records on an Excel spreadsheet. An Excel spreadsheet is sortable by name. We can't have anything that's searchable and sortable by name. Basically what we're doing now is we have to have computer technicians isolate these records, and then we've got to turn it into something that's not searchable. So they got to convert them into PDFs, and then they actually convert that to a TIFF, and then they tag it with gun descriptions and FFL number, and then load it into the system.
Hi, this is Danielle calling with the ATF National Tracing Center. I need your assistance with a firearm trace.